All right, team. We need to come up with a security breach theory. What should we talk about? Gregory isn't a normal human. He has to be an animatronic. Come on, it's obvious. Freddy is up to something when he's not with us. What is he doing? How about we talk about how the animatronics represent the 7 deadly sins? Howdy folks, it is the Command Line Vulpine here, and today we're hopping on that FNaF bandwagon, but we're not doing the things you would expect. You know, the obvious stuff. What's up with Vanny? Is there 2 of her? Just 1? Is she really Vanny and Vanessa? What's up with Freddy getting broken and dirty off camera? And for that matter, all the other animatronics too. Why is Gregory so evil? Well, actually, we might talk about that one a bit. No, there's plenty of other channels that will tackle all that in extreme detail, I'm sure. They probably already have by now. That's the curse of being a YouTuber who still has to work a full-time job. Instead, there was something else about the animatronics that really grabbed my attention, and the more I thought about it, the more it started to come together. Today, I'm making the case that the characters in Security Breach represent the 7 deadly sins, and to a lesser extent, the 9 circles of hell. Let's start with the easiest one. Monty is wrath. I doubt I really even have to prove this one to you, but just in case you haven't watched the first 5 minutes of Security Breach, here we go. We first hear Monty absolutely demolishing his room at the start of the game. And even before that, in the trailers and teasers, it was implied that Monty was very destructive and angry. This continues in-game as we read old text files that talk about him destroying property, along with the fantastic decision to upgrade his claws to be even more deadly. And finally, culminating in his boss fight where he destroys one of the ball shooters before coming after you. Oh yeah, and he probably killed Glam Rock Bonnie, but like I said, that's a theory for the professionals. Something that backs up their behavior being more than just happenstance, and being based more on the concept of being sins, is that each animatronic dies in a way that punishes them for their behavior. Monty, he dies in a similar way to he did in the past that required his call upgrade to begin with, being blindsided by one of these trolley cars in the past, and this time being blindsided by the giant bucket that you shoot the balls into in his minigame. Both of which caused by being too aggressive while he's chasing you and not paying attention to what's happening around him. And his punishment for it? He loses his legs. I feel that Roxanne's ending does the best job of demonstrating that their fates are a punishment for their sins, though. Even though I also find hers the most heartbreaking.
Everybody still loves me, right?
Roxy, of course, is pride, vanity, vainglory, egotism, self-absorbed narcissism. Why are there so many words for just one thing? After Freddy, she's the first animatronic we hear talking.
Your performance was perfect tonight. Your hair is beautiful. Your tail is beautiful. Everyone loves you. Everyone wants to be you.
Actually, out of all of them, other than Freddy, we get the most voice lines out of her. Maybe all that character development is what makes her fate so sad. So she's definitely obsessed with herself. So what's the worst thing that could happen to someone who's so vain? Going blind. Or in this case, as Gregory chooses to do, he will literally tear out her eyes for no reason after slamming a car into her at high speed. Like, seriously, as soon as you put these things in Freddy at 6 a.m. and you can leave. He only needed to wait like 30 minutes somewhere in the huge amount of safe spaces in the building. You don't even need them to leave. Or to take down Vanny. You don't even need them to get the best ending in the game, which is the 3-star saving Vanny ending. In fact, I don't even think you need them for the canon secret ending. And even still, either way, Gregory wasn't aware that he'd need them before he rips them out. Anyway, I'm getting sidetracked about how horrible Gregory is. Long story short, this punishment is brutal. She's even left crying and sobbing, scared that she isn't beautiful anymore and trying to reassure herself. Who knew the penance for vanity is that extreme?
Pizza time.
Chica is also quite an easy one. She's Gluttony. Unlike the other characters, though, her history with food is a really long one, all the way back to the first game. She's the mascot for eating in the franchise, always has been. Security Breach takes things further with unlockable text talking about how Chica finds Fizzy Faz irresistible. She's also constantly eating trash from the second time we see her, and to distract her when she's trying to get into one of the security offices we're hiding in, all we have to do is make her a pizza and, well, her reaction is interesting. What's her punishment for the sin of gluttony? Well, her hunger gets her killed as you lure her into the trash compactor with Fizzy Faz. Her passion for it is even so intense that when she realizes you're there, she just keeps eating until you shove her in there and crush her. At which point, Gregory rips out her beak and voice box. No more eating for her. Again, Gregory is an absolute monster. This is when things get difficult, though. Freddy is our friendly animatronic. He acts really suspicious sometimes.
Gregory? What did
did you do? Something didn't. I communicate again. I think you fixed my signal.
You on the monitor. I didn't think you could stand up.
Consider it a second wind.
And we'll jump scare you if you fail to upgrade him, or after he's upgraded, once you use him until he runs out of power. Other than that, though, there's not much there. He isn't that bright, I suppose, but that's not a sin.
That rabbit lady's in a secret room above Blast. I think her name is Vanny?
Vanny. It is very similar to Vanessa, and also
Great.
Bunny.
I think Freddy is maybe actually supposed to represent the virtues. At least specifically kindness, not to Gregory, but also to the other animatronics.
Check out these pictures. Chica has some sort of special voice box. Roxy has new eyes, and Monty was given better claws. We have to get these. We can upgrade you.
Gregory, those parts belong to my friends. I would never do anything to hurt them.
He doesn't want to see them hurt, which once again makes Gregory quite the little demon who even lies to Freddy about it.
This upgrade, it was Chica's. Please, be honest. How did you get it?
When I was in the kitchen earlier, she fell into some sort of garbage smasher.
Is she okay?
Well, she's still functional.
But we'll come back to Freddy in a moment. I am starting to get on thin ground here. The first three I'm absolutely convinced of, but now I'm too, well, let's see.
Music Man!
Is Sloth, because he's sleeping when we find him? He's the only animatronic we've actually seen in a real sleep state instead of just being turned off, which is odd. Additionally, he's the only animatronic other than Freddy who's perfectly okay with you after you restore power. Maybe Sloth is the least of the 7 deadly sins? I certainly don't think it's that bad. To go onwards from here, though, I think we have to hop off of the 7 deadly sins and move to the 9 circles of hell, as depicted in Dante's Inferno. You may think they overlap, but Pride is actually missing from the circles of hell. Anyway, we're coming over here for Vanny. I'm not exactly sure where to place her here. There's a few things that she could fall under. My first thought was violence. Security breach implies that she has started killing people by now. She's probably also one of the only threats in the building actually killing you. Since the main animatronics honestly don't seem like they want you dead, they never threaten to hurt you.
I am just trying to help. Our friendly security staff can help. Your family is looking for you.
Hey, kid, come on out. We're only trying to help.
Hey kid, come on out. We're only trying to help. Are you lost? I can help.
Maybe they take you to Vanny, but I'm not convinced they're the ones killing you. Maybe Monty, because he looks exceptionally chompy, and he's wrath, so his anger issues kind of makes sense that he'd be killing you. However, she also fits some of the other circles of hell, like Limbo, being caught between the influence of Glip Trap and other times being in control of herself. Likewise, possibly Fraud, as somehow she got promoted to this position she wasn't qualified for due to higher-ups' recommendation. With that said, though, I think Gregory is actually Fraud. Gregory is highly suspect from the first moment of the game. He's there when Freddy glitches out and hides inside him. He's homeless and seems to be secretly living in the Megaplex. He won't be totally honest with Freddy when he breaks Freddy's friends. That might even put him in the deepest circle of hell, treachery, by specifically doing what Freddy has told him not to do. Obviously, this theory has a lot of problems. I can't find all 7 deadly sins without making some serious stretches. And more than that, we'd have to give some of the characters more than one trait for them to fill everything. That's not even to mention I'm spreading myself thin by having to bring the 9 circles of hell to cover some of the others. There's also some characters that don't seem to fit the mold. I mentioned Music Man is a bit of a stretch. Sundrop and Moondrop doesn't seem to have any particular sins either. He seems to be mentally ill, if a machine even can be, and highly anxious. Neither of sins, of course. Maybe at best he can fit into Limbo given his spit personality, but then we're conflicted with other characters like Vanny. The problem is the main 3. It's just too compelling, with Monty being Wrath, with his huge anger and violence issues, and his punishment being to lose his legs. Roxy being Vanity with her overwhelming self-obsession and losing her eyes for it. Chica being Gluttony with her out-of-control eating problems and losing her mouth and voice box for it. The evidence just seems too strong, so in your face. How can't it be that? There's a lot of secrets buried in this game, though. It's clear from what people are finding in the game files that this used to be a totally different game and a lot bigger in scope. Maybe we'll uncover something that makes this all fit a little better. So now the question becomes, so what? Why does it matter if the animatronics show the signs of the 7 deadly sins or the 9 circles of hell? What relevance does it have? Why would robots have these weird personality problems that they act out even when people aren't watching? The answer, I think, is that it's not in any of their programming. It's Afton's influence. He's the reason they're all out to get you anyway, instead of actually trying to help after all. Gregory snapped Freddy out of it by making him malfunction, or Freddy caused his own malfunction by Michael's soul being inside of Freddy, whether or not you believe those theories out there. The rest of them, though, are already enslaved to Afton's will, and as such, it's not surprising that his personality traits, which as a child killer are generally pretty bad as to be expected, when run off onto them. Although I do have to say, while Wrath and Pride are easy to confirm, I don't think a big chungus purple guy would have been able to get inside his spring suit if he had Chica's Gluttony. Anyway, thanks for watching. These video essay type videos take a lot more work and time to make than my usual content, so it would really mean a lot to me that if you enjoyed the video to leave a like and consider subscribing. If I can make it to being able to do YouTube full time, I'd be able to make so many more, and with so much better quality it would be amazing. But right now, my time is so tight with a full-time job that, well, I wouldn't be surprised if someone else already made this theory, since it took me so long just to find the time to do it. So yes, your support is always appreciated. Oh, and if you're interested, I also run a quite large Five Nights at Freddy's Discord channel. You may like to check it out. I'll leave it in the comment pinned below. I post 2 gaming videos every day, and I try to get one of these video essays out once a month, but it's not a promise I can always keep. Like I said, it's a lot of work. But until next time, I hope you all have a good day.